Hello, Roxboro Community School students, teachers, and parents. My name is Mr. Joyner, and I am responsible for implementing the RCS Technology Plan, which we call the RCS School of the Future Initiative. As part of this initiative, we distribute school-owned computers to all students for them to use throughout the school year. Now, these computers are connected to the RCS network and are loaded with a whole lot of really good and interesting software that students may need while receiving their education here at RCS. Students will only receive their computers when they and their parent have signed the acceptable use policy that you received from your teachers on Wednesday, and as long as you have paid for any damages resulting from misuse or negligence during the last school year, 2010-2011. Students, you will be able to return your forms that you got on Wednesday and pick up your computer in the school library after school on Thursday, August the 18th from 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and Friday, August 19th from 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Students, you may also pick up your computers in the library on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. All right, now if you can't make the allotted time, you need to have a legitimate reason as to why you can't make it, and then you need to come by 214 and speak with me, that's my office, and make an appointment on when we can get your form traded in for your computer. Please note also that there are just a few students, a handful of students that are new this year to RCS. We found out about a lot of the new students towards the end of the summer, and you may or may not have a computer ready for you on August the 18th because of just the timing of your enrollment. So return your form anyway at the appointed time, and I'll let you know if you can go ahead and pick up your computer if we have it ready, or if you need to come back. And again, it's just a handful of students, so most of you it's not going to impact. Now, there's some guidelines that we have to go over, just like we did last year, and I want to make sure that it's clear. You're watching me on this video today, but this video is also going to be available to you from our RCS website on YouTube. So if you've got any questions or if your parents need to see anything, they can come back and revisit what we've said on the video. Now, the first thing you need to know is that since we do provide computers for everyone, that means we don't allow you to use your own computer here at school, and we're not going to connect your own personal computers to our wireless network. We also don't connect other portable Wi-Fi enabled devices, you know, like your cell phones, your iPods, other PDAs, iPads, etc., to our wireless network at school. We have here a lot of technology that we're providing, and our teachers are going to be using the technology based on what's loaded on your computers for their classroom lessons, their homework assignments, and communicating with all of our students throughout the school day. All right? So all students, as a result, will have email accounts available to them here at school and at home if you have an internet connection available. Now, we use Microsoft Outlook for email and task assignments, calendaring, contact management, etc. So student email is available on the laptop computers, but it's also available for those students who have cell phones that are smartphones and they're equipped to support Microsoft Outlook or Microsoft Exchange. If you have a cell phone like that, we can set that up for you so you can get your email on your cell phone as well. And if you want to do that, just stop by my office again in room 214, and we'll show you how to set it up so that you can receive your email, your RCS email, on your phone all the time. Student and faculty login accounts and email addresses are all based on your last name, first initial, and middle initial. All right, so my user ID or my login name would be Joyner SG, which is my last name, Joyner, first initial S, and middle initial G. All right, and email addresses are set up the same way. So your email address will be your last name, your first initial, and your middle initial at roxborocommunityschool.org. So mine is joynersg@roxborocommunityschool.org. Now, there are a couple of students, a few of them, who have the same last name, first initial, middle initial. In many cases, they may be brothers, maybe sisters, brother and sister, some sort of relationship where they've got the same last name, first initial, middle initial combination. In those cases, we've put the number 1 behind the person who is the second person with the same initial. So if you looked at it alphabetically, if your name was Josh and your brother's name is Jacob, then the Josh person is going to have a 1 behind their last name, first initial, middle initial. Again, that's just a very small number of people, and if you've got any questions about it, you can ask me. All right, students, you need to know that our teachers and our administrators do make extensive use of our email capabilities. And this year they're going to be communicating a lot more important information to our students. So students, you need to make sure that you're checking your email frequently throughout the day and from home if you have internet connection at home. Now, if you don't know a person's email address and you want to send them an email, you can select their name from the global address book by pressing the To button, the T-O button, when you are creating a new email. You can also find out faculty members' internal RCS phone number this way. Just look them up on the global address book and you'll find their phone number, which generally corresponds also to their room number. So if you need to know how to get in touch with them or find them, you can do that with the global address book. All right. Now, students, when you log in for the first time, right now, you know your user ID is your last name, first initial, middle initial, and all of your passwords, every one, is set to 20RCS11. All right, so that's the number 2, the number 0, RCS11. There are no capitalized letters in there. We'll repeat it one more time. Everyone's password right now is set to 20RCS11. All right? You should immediately change your password when you receive your computer. Now, if you don't change your password, you're going to be forced to change it anyway within the first 2 weeks of school. But it makes a lot of sense for you to go ahead and change your password. And once you log in, you just press Control-Alt-Delete, and then a selection will come up, one of which will be change password, and just follow the instructions there. Please remember your password. As a security measure, you will be prompted to change your password every 30 days. And if you fail to change it every 30 days, you'll be locked out of the system after a period of time. Generally, that's about 45 days. So you have a couple of weeks where you'll be reminded to change your password. You need to do that or you'll be locked out of the system. Now, passwords are case sensitive, so that means you have to have exactly the way that you've typed it in. If you've typed it with capitals at the beginning, it's always going to need to be capitals, okay? So that will matter, whether they're large letters or small letters, all right? And you must have letters, passwords that are 7 characters long, and they need to contain a number. And they also cannot be a password that you've used during the last 12 months, all right? So you'll be changing those passwords monthly on a frequent basis. And I want to encourage you on how to remember your password, and that is by using a password that you're familiar with, you'll remember, that you know you're not going to forget, and then whatever numbers you have in it, move them around within the word that you've chosen as your password. So 1 month I might choose my password to be Sunshine09. Then when I'm forced to change it in September, I might choose Sunshine10, Sunshine 10, or 10 Sunshine, so that I can easily remember I've still got the word sunshine as my password. And it also helps if the number that you choose to use in your password corresponds to the month of the year or the day of your birth or some other number that's really easy to remember. Because if you don't remember your password, you won't be able to log in from home, and you won't be able to log in here until you see somebody on our technology management team. So make sure you remember those passwords, and again, make sure you change them as soon as you get your computers so that no one else can log in as you. All right? That brings me to my next point. Please do not share your login information or your passwords with anyone except your parent or your guardian. All right? If you do this, share your password, you are violating our acceptable use policy that you'll be signing before you get your computer. And someone else may be able to log in as you and do something that you don't want them to do. And ultimately, we're going to hold you responsible for whatever happens under your personal user ID and your password. So do not give it to anyone because we're not going to accept as an excuse for something that may have happened that shouldn't have happened, that, oh, I gave my password to someone else. All right, so make sure that you keep it to yourself. All right, students, you should also all store all of your important school-related documents in the My Documents folders, all right, so that they will synchronize with our network and will be backed up nightly. Now, last year, some students did have issues with files not synchronizing or with trying to find their work and they couldn't find it or what have you. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to talk about how to make sure your files are synchronized as you should. All right? I think we can take care of this real quickly just by giving you a couple of pointers on it. All right? You should not store important files on the desktop on your computer because they will not be backed up regularly. So anything that's stored on that desktop is your responsibility to back up via a USB flash drive or an external hard disk or something like that. So anything you put out there that you want to make sure that we take care of and that we're going to save, you need to put it in My Documents. Everything else is going to be up to you to save. Now, we've also loaded iTunes on your computers again this year, but we've gone through a lot of trouble to make sure that those iTunes libraries are not pointed to the My Documents area so that we don't back up all of your songs on our network. That happened a little bit last year. So this year, we've pointed them all to be saved on your desktop. So know that if you put music on your computer via iTunes, you need to make sure that you're backing that stuff up. All right? Back any iTunes music up to a personal USB flash drive or an external hard disk, or you risk losing the music files in the event that we have to do something like reload software on your computer for any reason. If you have trouble with it or if you get some problem that requires us to reload the software, we're not going to be worried a whole lot about your iTunes files, so make sure you back those up. All right. Students have access to the internet and the network throughout the building via a wireless network. All right. And on this network, you have access to 2 drive letters. Drive G, some of you who had computers last year remember Drive G, and then Drive H. The G drive is the group's drive. Drive H is your personal and private storage area on the network. Other students cannot access your personal storage area on the network, your H drive. That is important for you to know. However, teachers do have access to the data that's on your H drive, and they may occasionally instruct you to save the information that they're asking you to create on the H drive so they can check it. Okay. In fact, if you notice on the H drive, you'll see that My Documents, the My Documents folder, is actually a subfolder on the H drive. All right, so that's all on the network. All right, now occasionally you may also need to access information from your teachers that they keep on the G drive. That is a shared area that everyone has access to if you're in the appropriate security group. All right, now teachers may also ask you to retrieve information or save information on the G drive from time to time, depending on how it is that they would like to have you return work into them. They may also have you email them or what have you. There may be other ways that they want you to turn work in, and all of that will change depending on what teacher you have. All right, you need to also know that student email this year is available on Microsoft Outlook from anywhere there's a network connection. All right, this year we installed a program called Microsoft Outlook Anywhere. So students, you're not required to connect via the virtual private network. Remember, there were a few extra steps we had to go through to connect to our network before you get your email last year. This year, that's all been eliminated. If you have access to the internet and your computer is connected, then you just start up Microsoft Outlook and you don't have to do anything special to connect. It will take care of connecting it to our system from any network where you are.